We're sitting down with Fred Cantu, eating some Whataburger breakfast.
His favorite.
Yeah, why? Why Whataburger?
Well, when I was growing up, a long time ago, back in the 60s, growing up in the Valley, at the time we were a family of 8, so it was hard to find something that we could all afford together. And there was a burger place that would sell burgers for 15 cents. Whataburger was like 45 cents back then.
Fancy.
So when we could afford to have Whataburger, it became a special treat. And I always took it to be a special treat.
So what'd you get?
I always get now the number 8, which is a double meat Whataburger Junior.
Cheers.
Cheers. Already been
Whataburger
there.
breakfast.
All right, just a little nibble here.
So we wanted to chat with you because, as everyone knows, you're retiring after half a century.
How are you feeling about all this?
Frankly, I'm ready. It's been a good long haul, but my wife needs me and I need her, so I decided I'm just going to cut clean and go home and spend time with her.
How are you feeling about it all?
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
You mean, am I going to miss you?
Yes, you're going to miss us? The people? The stories?
It's going to be very different, not having the routine of going to work, but I know that I'm going to stay pretty busy with family things.
Good. That's good to hear.
I grew up in Brownsville, and back in those days, there was just one little radio station in town, a mom and pop operation that played middle of the roadie and big band music and things like that. And when I was 16 years old, I got enough courage to walk into the radio station and say, I want to do this. How do I do this? My first paying gig was at that radio station, playing the middle of the road music, Edie Gourmet, Sinatra, Robert Goulet, all the greats. And I still love that kind of music.
Did you always have that voice, that iconic voice?
I am told I did. And, that helped too. So thank you, genetics.
I also wanted to ask you about your Grammy nomination, another thing people probably don't know about.
No, I didn't know that.
So what happened was, it was 1985. There was a band in town called Trash, Twang, and Thunder. It was a guitar band. I was approached by them because they needed a sound effect of a riot for a particular cut they were doing on this album they were working on. And I found one that was in public domain. Anyway, they credited me on the record. And it says, "Riot provided by Fred Cantú" on the album cover. And this album ended up being nominated for a Grammy for Best Rock Instrumental. We didn't win though.
No, sorry. So you're single.
But it was an honor just to be nominated.
Right.
Well, I think the one that I really felt the most was floods that we had in 2015. And there was a particular neighborhood, the Blanco Gardens neighborhood in San Marcos. And I covered them when they got flooded with the Memorial Day floods. And they told them at that time that was a 500-year flood. A few months later, they had another 500-year flood. I mean, that was heartbreaking. But some of them stuck it out, and they're still living in that neighborhood there. And also all the people who came in to help them during both floods that came from across the country. Lots of volunteers came in, and I loved seeing that.
Yeah. I feel like that's what people love about you is you connect with the community.
That's true.
I mean, everybody loves Fred
And
here.
you can interview pretty much anyone. I mean, you've interviewed mayors, celebrities, your regular people in town, but also you got to cover the Queen when she came to Austin back in 1991. What can you tell us about that?
Everybody had their angle on how they were going to cover the Queen and what she was going to see while she was there. And I went with a different direction, and it was things that the Queen wasn't going to see. We worked with Shannon Sedgwick from Esther's Follies,
Oh, yeah.
and she played the Queen in our little story. Our Queen went to see how tortilla chips were made. And I still remember Shannon in front of the conveyor belt going, ooh, 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 you know. Also, we dropped in unannounced on the mayor. It was Lee Cook at the time. And I said, we want to see the mayor. and the secretary, I remember, kind of looked at me and thought, why not?
Yeah.
And he said, and she opened the door and said, Fred Cantu is here with the Queen. and to his credit, Mayor Cook played along. And he, first of all, approached the Queen and said, how about a hug?
Oh my God.
And no hugs, no hugs, I still remember.
That's not protocol. Right?
No,
But-
it's a Texas way.
But it was a fun day.
Yeah.
A really fun day, and I enjoy those kinds of stories. A set-top box like this one can... I used to do this Gadget Guy segment about how people in everyday life use technology. And my favorite story had to do with a little coffee shop near UT, where the shop owner bought a coffee machine that cost $20,000.
Wow.
I don't have the taste buds for coffee. I'm not a foodie.
Not either.
And but my wife loves coffee, and so I brought her along for the story, and she was my taste tester. And they started making the coffee from the machine and bringing her little cups, and she says, best day ever. and it was just a perfect story, and I had the perfect subject and didn't know that I was married to her. Wow, we're still good to go.
So when you said Gadget Guy, I thought you were going to talk about the story of when you helped somebody with their antenna. Is that right?
Yeah, well, that was part of it too.
Okay.
Back when we were making the transition to HD TV, we were doing a lot of, getting the word out how this was going to handle. Remember converter boxes and all that. And I was contacted by a family out in the country near Elgin. It was an older couple, and they were having problems making the switch. So I went over to their house to see, how I could help. And I found out that their antenna, which was on a little tower next to the house, had actually fallen over. And that's why they were not getting any signal. I went to the Home Depot and I bought a new pole and set it up and climbed up the ladder and set up an antenna for them. And they were really impressed with the picture quality. But we're often told the reporters need to get involved in the story. I went to the store, I got them the antenna, I put it up there.
I want to ask you about Cowboy Breakfast. You just had your last one that you were going to do, affiliated with CBS Austin. How did that feel? I know you took a lot of pictures with a lot of Fred fans.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
I really enjoyed seeing everyone show up and the hugs and just talking. Everyone knew that I was going to retire, and so they were all saying goodbye to me. It was just touching that everyone... I don't know, that I made a lot of friends along the way, I guess. And I also wanted to mention the Uncle Fred part.
I was going to say, I feel like you're family to Austin. You're our uncle.
Yeah. And the Uncle Fred part actually started with someone I knew from radio, and that was Dale Dudley. Dale Dudley, for many years, did mornings on KLBJ FM. He started talking about Uncle Fred to his listeners. And the power of radio, especially back then, everyone started calling me Uncle Fred, so I started using it too.
Fred, what does retirement look like for you?
Well, the main reason I'm retiring is to take care of my wife. She and I are both getting up in years, and she's needing me and I'm needing her, so we're just going to take care of each other.
What are you going to do?
That is priority number one. Well, actually, we're just going to spend time together.
Because how long have y'all been married?
This year will be 49 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Goals right there. How many grandkids do you have?
5.
Okay.
5.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite? But seriously, which one? You can tell me when we cut the cameras.
Yeah,
There's always one.
You know, when you start having grandkids, the young ones are always your favorite.
That's true. I get it. Yeah, the babies.
And my older ones are in their 20s already.
Wow.
Whereas the time is marching on.
Yeah, how exciting. Well, we're looking forward to that. You're going to share some Whataburger meals with them?
I certainly will.
We love you, Fred. Uncle Fred.
Thank you very much.
Deal, Fred.
Happy retirement!
Fred Cantu. Fred Cantu. Fred Cantu. Fred Cantu. Fred Cantu. CBS Austin News.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.